Hi, everyone. My name is Sam Schapera, and I'm the program director at Northern Hills Synagogue. And I want to welcome you to our next video in our interview series. This week, I'm joined by Marci and Frank Kearly, our newest members of the Northern Hills Synagogue community. So welcome, Marci and Frank. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you. We're looking forward to it.
Good. Well, as the newest members, we're really excited to get to know you both virtually, but even more so when we get in person again. Can you tell us a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and how you became connected to Northern Hills?
Sure. Frank and I met at work in Baltimore, and he's a medical physicist and worked in radiation therapy. And my first profession was I was a radiation therapy technologist. So that was how we met, and several years later got married happily. And we lived in Baltimore for over 30 years. And we have two children, a son who is married and is a documentary editor who we brag about all the time. And we have a daughter who's going to be 50, and she's a lawyer, and she has two children. We left Baltimore to move to sunny Florida about 7 years ago. But we found that we really got to the point where we needed support from other people. And we had no family down there. And so we decided to move up to Cincinnati and to live with near his sister's family, which is wonderful. They have just been marvelous. They really have. Very happy living here. So, and as far as the synagogue goes, I'm conservative. Frank has always practiced reform. So he spoke with Rabbi Bar at Bet Adam, and Rabbi Bar suggested that suggested his wife to look into Northern Hills. And at first I was really hesitant because I had my mind on another synagogue that's very large. But at any rate, fortunately, I did look into Northern Hills, and I was shocked and still how I just joined. So before I joined, even with it being virtual, everything virtual, people were so welcoming to both of us that it just took me by surprise. And I think Barry was the first person we came in contact with, and he clenched it. So somebody that I met when I told them that I was joining Northern Hills said it was a special place, and they don't belong there. They belong to another synagogue, but they were right.
Well, we are so excited that you found us, that you had so many people kind of push you in our direction, and that you feel welcome and safe here. That's really important.
Yes.
Speaking
and
of,
I want to do a lot of volunteer work with my NAMI and.
Well, speaking of NAMI, Marci, you are a former social worker.
Yes.
And you've often expressed a real passion for mental health. For those who don't know what NAMI is, it's the National Association of Mental Illness. It's a wonderful organization. So Marci, if you want to tell us both a little bit more about the organization itself and your work with it.
Okay. Well, I came to it because I have mental illness. I have bipolar, and I'm reducing stigma by telling everybody. But NAMI has, as I said, they go around educating the public. That is their main thing, and they have this in our own voice program where two presenters go and talk about their journey with mental illness and what was bad and what helped. They have support groups for people who have the illness. They have it for the family members, for spouses, and they have just, I'm not sure about this program, it's just started, I think, uh, going into the schools to educate children and let children know about mental illness.
We will include the helpline in somewhere up here. We'll include the number for the helpline. So if anybody who's listening is in need of mental health support, whether that's for yourself or for a loved one, or even for somebody within your community, feel free to call that number. And NAMI is a wonderful organization that will get you the help that you need, or at least take you in the right direction. So Marci, we are really excited for you to bring your passions with us. We have talked about, Marci, you sort of facilitating a mental health support group once we get back into person, when we're in the building, or whether not in the building, it could be anywhere within the Cincinnati area. Right. So if you're looking for a Jewish place where you can find other people who are struggling, who can help you and support you, please reach out to me. You can find my email on the website, and I can make sure that you get connected with Marci and the support group once we get started.
And I'm looking forward to doing it.
And so turning it back to Frank. So Frank, your son, as Marci said, is a documentary editor and has worked on a couple different films from a Jewish lens. But his profession has really created a passion for you.
Yes, when we were at our original synagogue down in Florida, I mentioned that he had made these films, and they encouraged me to show some of them. And I was only too anxious to do that. And they were very well received. And I think that the congregation would probably enjoy them. One of the films is called Making Trouble. It's a story about 6 Jewish comedians.
Female
comedians. Molly Picone, Fanny Bryce, Sophie Tucker, Joan Rivers, Gilda Radner, and Wendy Wasserstein, the 6 of them. And it's a very well done movie and really enjoyable to watch. Another movie that he did was called Dancing in Jaffa, about a professional ballroom dancer by the name of Pierre Dulaine, who started a series of classes, dancing classrooms, or I'm not sure exactly, I think that's what he called it, to try to bring together kids from different ethnic backgrounds and teach them how to be gentlemen and ladies with each other. His background was, he was from Jaffa, and his mother was Palestinian, his father was British, and when Israel became a country, the family had to move. He always wanted to go back to Jaffa to do his program, and that's what Dancing in Jaffa was about. It's a fascinating show.
Well, thank you for sharing those. And I know your collection is huge of documentaries, not just the ones that your son has done. But we will be working on a program either virtually or in person where we can share those documentaries with the congregation and the community. So for those watching, keep an eye out for a program coming up that will involve watching these great documentaries.
I would look forward to showing them, and I've enjoyed discussing them afterwards too. That's always a good part of it.
Wonderful. Well, like I said, we are so excited for you to be a part of our community. But I want to know, what are you most excited about with being part of the Northern Hills Synagogue community?
I think I look forward to meeting the people in the congregation and starting up a nice friendship.
But you love the programs.
I like the programs also. We've watched participated in several of your video programs, and it's been enjoyable.
Good. And Marci, I know that you are eagerly awaiting our services back in person.
Yes.
Well, me too. I am too. Well, Marci and Frank, thank you so much for joining me on this interview series. It's been so wonderful to get to know you over the last month or so, and I'm so happy that we get to continue to know you, hopefully for many years to come.
Yes,
Yes.
I'll abide.
I'll provide, yes. And for those watching, if you would like to be part of our interview series, just please reach out to me. I'll put somewhere around here, I'll put my email address, so feel free to send me an email. And thank you again to the Kearlys for joining me, and we'll see you next time.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.